I shared it with my employer, which is in touch with a charter school. She is just absolutely amazed. I'm going to be getting some more feedback from her. She was like, Vivian, I don't even know how to say thank you. My name's Vivian Jones. I'm licensed as a certified occupational therapy assistant in several states. I started out going to nursing school. After I finished the RN program, I transitioned into OTA, working for hospice. I felt like that wasn't my niche. So then I opened up a private practice with another occupational therapist in Florida and transitioned to working in schools, which I love. When I found out about RITP, I was really happy to see that it was play-based and a channel for teachers to learn about reflexes and how to integrate them. And so make it a part of, their daily routine, mainly because as a clinician, we're time-based. We work with them approximately 30 minutes to see the highest level of benefits. We want to share that knowledge.
Well, you've had quite the career in a bunch of different areas. What led you specifically to reflex integration?
To be extremely transparent about this, I learned the terminology from a parent and thought, wow, this is where I need to educate myself deeper. I knew what reflex integration was, but I needed to know how we could bring that to children in the schools. And this was a reflection from the parents' conversation that I had with her. Actually, it was a grandmother raising her grandson. She asked me some specific questions, and I've recently been able to help her. It's very gratifying. I would say COCA McDonald's program is amazing. Initially, when I started learning about it, it was kind of like, wow, because it was so detailed. But then I got into some of the specifics in the end and more towards the certification. And I'm very pleased at the way that she's designed it compared to others that I have looked into as well.
What do you think is the most valuable thing you've learned from the program?
I think the assessment tools, the ready go type of thing, therapists are able to do the research. I mean, that's part of what we do to try to seek things out, but this is kind of packaged. And so I love that. I'm in there digging, trying to find what I need, and I know it's all there. So it's prepared.
Do you think you can share a specific moment or exercise from the training that stood out to you?
I think, well, there's a lot of them, but specifically how as a grandma myself and separating myself from clinical information, my grandsons have done jumping jacks. I have learned how to implement them in a very therapeutic model. And I think that coincides with our education with parents and teachers. You don't have to be a therapist to do these. And that's the best part about it. And I also love the popcorn where they're in and then yeah.
And I think the kids don't know that they're actually doing something that's beneficial for them. They're just having fun.
Playing.
We hear that over and over. That's the great part of it. It's easier to implement because it's play. So how was your experience with the course structure, materials, and support?
It's not a certification program. Without the support and structure from other therapists, the one student I'm going through with a case study, I've really put time in this. And, I will say that I have learned an awful lot about this student's background by compiling the information. So it wasn't just a quick assumption of his needs. I think I answered your question, but in terms of what I've learned from that, he's making steady progress. I'm able to communicate in layman terms with his mom about how to conduct these things and show this progress. The easy exercises, like it's playing, the education and the work of a child is play. I also want to add that I'm the director of an outdoor school. My goal is to implement that through students that aren't getting IEPs. The benefits could help them outside of needing extra help or diagnostic wise. This is a great way to kind of help everybody and every child, gross motor
Um,
development and all.
okay. So when you say outdoor school, is that like a nature school or a forest school that it's referred to? Could you define that a little bit more?
I'm actually the director of student services, so we do deal with the IEPs and that kind of thing. There is a forest school entity, which are, like kindergarten through first grade. And so the ethos model there is in Europe that, children learn best through play. So that's where they orchestrate the play all day, but they're adjuncts to preparing them for school, preparing them to read left and right discrimination. So they know how to follow more any text these days on computers. There's also another school linked to it, which is the upper grades. It would be first or second grade all the way to high school. They're outside benefiting from nature while they're learning. So there's still an academic piece to it. I have researched many documentations about the benefits of being outdoors. This is another way that this program is implemented. When we do brain breaks for a child that may not be able to sit for a 30-minute, class time, we're having a game-like atmosphere for them to break up their day, and then they can settle in and focus. And we talk about ADHD and any kind of a learning difference. I'm really liking teaching it too. It's exciting to share.
Okay, sounds like it really does line up in parallel with what you're trying to achieve in those types of schools. In terms of COCA has designed a number of different tools, such as the books, the app, the board game, the certification program. Can you tell me a little bit about which one of those you've utilized and how has that experience been?
Okay, so the app is outstanding. In real life, when I'm in a school and there are children there, I may go in with the best plan, but Joey didn't have a good morning, and so we're going to adapt to that. So using the app makes it so simple to be able to a go-to picture. You know what, Joey? Let's do this. There's calming. There's all of the exercises in there for the reflexes, ATNR, STNR. The calming ones are really good. The other thing is it's with you. You have your phone right there and it shows videos, demonstration visually. And a lot of what OT does is a visual demonstration. The other game that's pretty new, and I haven't bought it, but I want it pretty bad. It's a memory game. And so when we're working on working memory for a child to be able to do more than one thing at a time, falling into cursive and handwriting and that kind of thing, or math, that tool just links it all together. So it sells itself. I work for a school and have to manage my priorities, but that's next in line.
Okay, awesome. So I want to go on a little bit more and hear about how going through a certification in RITP impacted the way you work with children.
I think after I graduated in 1997, it gave me a whole new light on therapy. It's a new avenue for intervention, and I'm interested to see the outcomes as we go along and share this knowledge with teachers so they can implement it, not in 3 times a week, 30 minutes, so that this can be a daily routine part of grandparents, parents doing this at home, homeschool groups, and everything that she's, kind of outlined in there. I'm excited about it. I do a lot of things, so it sounds kind of crazy, but I also work 2 days in a charter school. I have licenses through the certification program, so I'm able to share a lot of this information with the schools. I shared it with my employer, which is in touch with a charter school. She is just absolutely amazed. I'm going to be getting some more feedback from her. She was like, Vivian, I don't even know how to say thank you. And I'm like, this is part of what COCEB's put together in the package. It's not Vivian Jones. I'm excited to share it. I feel like I get that same feedback every time I talk about it with a teacher And I mentioned it to the principal at the school, and she's like, yes, because the other thing is it's diverse. You can go in and offer this to the PE department. So they're in there, and it's not just kickball today. Here we go. It's ready for you. There's not a whole lot of planning to it. And then there's the feedback from the therapy component so that we're there in the building or able to assist them if necessary.
Right. Can you share a particular success story where you applied what you learned in the program with one of the children that you were serving?
So far, there's just one child that I can speak to because I'm still new at this myself. He is my grandson. So I have worked with him diligently. He's been my go-to patient. He's been, so I'll say to you in a short version, he was born at 26 weeks. So there's been a lot of reflexes with him that weren't integrated, obviously. He lost his twin brother. It was a twin to twin transfusion syndrome situation. The medical background, premature. He stayed in NICU for almost 5 months, was discharged at 5 pounds. I clinically knew that there were going to be some things with his visual perception. So far to get to the point, I see improvements with him already. And he just had an IEP meeting, which he's come away with SLD, specific learning disorder. So the saccades and all of the things that are implemented in this package are very beneficial. I learned from this. I graduated a long time ago, but I actually learned a lot. So I was really pleased to know. And I'm going to hopefully see and let him exhibit more progress as we go. I'm teaching his mom as well as his teacher so that we've got all ends covered, grandma, mom, and school. So, and he doesn't know. And that's the beauty of it because when I started doing this, was not able to use both sides of his body integrated with jumping jacks. Symmetrically, his right arm would go up and his left would be here, and vice versa with the legs. He's shown good improvements. Now, he's also going to get tested for DIBBLS, which 3 times a year they do DIBBLS assessment at school for oral reading fluency and comprehension. So both of those areas were an issue. His teacher's already giving me feedback about positive ability because I've used the saccades with him for the reading, so for visual perception. And she was like, Vivian, just tell me in English, what are you talking about? And I said, if you just do these, you're going to see some of that. And then that'll help explain the big picture.
Right. Can I ask how old your grandson is?
He will be 10 in July.
Okay.
He's a miracle for sure. I mean, all children are, but he's certainly a miracle. We literally could see through his skin when he was born. We weren't able to touch him. I think I kangarooed. Oh, talk about emotional. I kangarooed where you have skin to skin contact when he was 5 months old. He's a blessing.
So how long have you been using the ITP program with him?
That's a really good question. I think before I knew what I was doing, if that counts, and it's just honest, because that's another really good point. You can't hurt them with this. You can see some of the need through the exercise because you're seeing how there's an issue with the symmetrics and all. But I would say, to answer the question, approximately a month before I really dove in. I'm
Okay.
still doing the case study. I have a lot of little things that I'm involved in for work and things too. That's another really good point about the program because you're kind of giving that for it to work better for the parent and the student. You've delegated some of the exercises so that you can be like, yeah, now we're really getting it, because for it to work well, you have to use it.
I like when you're talking about using it with him as a grandmother, his mother, and his teacher, because they've shown that the more you do it, the faster they can improve. And that's what's so nice. You don't have to wait once a week till the therapist comes in. It's what we've been hearing. Right. Okay. So I want to get more to some of your overall reflections and recommendations. What would you say to another occupational therapist considering the certification program?
Do it. Because of my age and a fixed income, it was difficult, but I would say it was worth it. It gave me confidence to know that, this is an area that we can really help children. And like, I don't want to use words like burnout or anything, but after doing it for so many years, I was kind of like, I would say more frustrated that I feel like a plateau in the care for the child. So that's where I think it just opened up a new, so I would definitely recommend them doing it. Another really positive thing I just realized while I'm talking is it's helped with the communication through my employers to know what Joey's doing when they're with me. The evaluating therapist is making a plan. What are the goals? The goals are to integrate STNR. What does that mean? And so there's a big communication piece to it. Yeah, I think it would definitely help extremely. I can't say just in private practice or schools because I've worked in both. I had a clinic with a registered therapist for years. I wish I would have known about this then.
I have a 6-month-old granddaughter, and I'm just watching all the progression going, yep, she's doing that.
Yeah,
Nice.
beautiful.
Yeah. So, how would you say this program has influenced your confidence as a therapist?
Certainly, as a certified occupational therapy assistant, we don't do evaluations. We can do treatment. I'm not saying my supervisor's not competent in any way. Please don't take that because she really is. But there's been times where I've said, I wonder if we should add the palmar reflex to this child's plan of care. And she's like, let's do it, And so that yeah, I would say it definitely has helped confidence. And then directly caring for my grandson to make it personal, for sure.
Okay. If you were to describe the Reflex Integration Through Play certification in 3 words, what would they be?
Compact, efficient, and experience. I mean, maybe they don't all coincide, but yeah, I would say compact, prepared, ready, I pick up my phone, I've got my app, and if I didn't have a good night's sleep at 63 years old, I've got it right there, and guess what? I know I can read that and follow that and show Joey, this is what we need to work on today. And you know what? Let's get the ball and add that to it now. So that's another piece to it that we didn't talk about, but yeah, I love it. I'll be forever grateful for the learning experience. Yeah, I
Great.
will definitely use this for the rest of my career. I'm looking forward to any other updates as well.
Thank you, Vivian. You've been very expressive in explaining everything, and I really appreciate the time you're taking to feed the information back for us.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.